Hi and welcome to episode 10 of Kingdom Business TV. I'm your host, Wez Hone, and for the next little bit of time, we are going to be talking all things kingdom business. So what is kingdom business? First off the bat, what is kingdom business? I guess it's my little term that I use all of the time and love it. And so it's simply this, right? It's doing business. So you and I are gifted and anointed for business. It's doing business in service to the King. When we became believers, we gave our entire life over, and that's every area of our life. He wants 100% of our obedience, 100% of our focus. And so for business people, that's business as well. So it's about, this frame of reference being that the reason why we're in business is not so we can have everything we want. It's okay to have nice things, but it's because every part of that is to somehow benefit the kingdom of God. So whether that's giving money, whether that's being influential to the people around you, whether that's employing people, however you do it, then being in business is influential, and it's doing it for that reason and not doing it for yourself. So that's a little bit about why we do this show, right? I'm hopping on here every Monday, every Thursday at 3 o'clock Queensland time, 4 o'clock Smart time, and just doing these shows for you. So while I've got you there, would you do me a favor and hit share, right? There's a share button on your screen, and if you hit that, then more people can see that this show is going on right now, and that would be super cool for me if you would do that. And so I want to herald this message to as many people as I possibly can. So I appreciate you guys who have jumped on. Darren, thank you so much. Cameron, Rowan, Tazina, and the others that I might have missed. I really appreciate you guys. Lisa, thanks for joining. Stephen, thank you for joining. Rachel, you're awesome. So, you know what? If you hit the share button for me, though, more people are going to see it and more people are going to jump on, and we can start to build the audience. Now, why is that important? Jack O'Brien, you're a legend. Thanks for joining me. Why is it important? Well, I'm doing giveaways today, right? Feeling festive, right? There's something about Christmas that I just love. We're one of those Christmas families where we just love getting in the spirit of Christmas and spending the time as a family and giving gifts and things like that. So call me crazy, but that's just how we like to live as a family. Not really big on the Santa thing, just generally just love the spirit of Christmas, and it's the birth of our Savior, right? Why wouldn't we celebrate? So that's a little bit about the way we work. But I've got some things here that I'm going to give away. I am going to give away books. I know it's not very 2018 to have a paper copy. However, I still like a paper copy. By the way, in the comments, let me know, are you paper or Kindle, right? Let me know, how do you prefer to read books? Are you a paper reader or are you a Kindle reader? Because on this show today, I'm going to be giving some of these books away. And then literally, I'm going to go to the post office and put these straight in the box for you. And I mean Craig is going to go and put these in the post box and get these out to you to you before Christmas, so you got some reading material. What have we got here? Well, the first book, we got this one by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. You might have seen his video, went viral. This is the book about it, and it's basically finding the reason why you're doing what you're doing. We're going to give that one away. We got Malcolm Gladwell, the crazy scientist. He wrote a book called Outliers, so we're going to be giving that one away. That's kind of like a disruption-based book. We got Purple Cow, and this is one of my favorites. It's about really standing out and building a business that helps stand out. And then we got the old classic, How to Win Friends and Influence People, building rapport and that sort of thing. So I'm going to be giving these away today, but what's the criteria to win? What's the criteria to win? Well, basically, all you have to do, my friends, is ask a question on the show. Yes, it's really that simple. The question can be about business, it can be about wealth, it can be about family, it can be around church, it can be around taking culture, it can be around marketing, sales, whatever it is that you like. So all I need you to do, if you want to ask a question on the show, I'm going to give you my answer. I'm also going to give you a book. Then all I need you to do is put a Q in the comments. Just put a big Q and one of my team will reach out to you and we'll get you on here. So if you've got a question, put Q in the comments box. Craig will find a way to talk to you and then we'll get you on here and then I'm going to send you a book. All right, so Scripture of the day. I love this bit. I love looking at scripture and trying to put it into a business context. Marty Garrett, appreciate you watching. Susan Nitz, thank you very much. You guys are great. Now remember to put a Q in the comments box. We'll get you on the show and then we'll give you a book. All right, here's the scripture today. Matthew 11, 28, 29. And it says this, come to me, it says Jesus, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. I got to tell you, when you and I are heavy laden, is there anything better than going to quiet time with Jesus? Literally, there is something about that transaction where we take our heavy burden to the cross, we hang out with Jesus, and he gives us perspective, and then we feel like, that we can leave those cares with him, and then we get back this incredible sense of peace. Like that right there is a beautiful gift that we have of being a believer. But, here's my concern. For many people in business, right? Like if you want to find the group of people who are most likely to, who labor and are heavy laden, it's going to be business people, because business is probably the hardest place to apply our faith, okay? You can't be irrelevant for more than 3 seconds before the market will run you out of town, right? It's like if you're in politics, it's easy. Everyone hates you, so it's no different, right? If you're a pastor, well, you're hanging around believers, right? So you're protected from a lot of the grief. But for business people, we don't have that luxury, right? So for us, when we are, when we're heavy laden, we can go to Jesus and he puts his loving arms around us, and you can't get a better deal than that. However, for a lot of people, because they're business people and then they go to Jesus, I think there's a missing step, right? There are people that because their business is not working, because their business is not flying, because they're not crushing it, they keep going back to Jesus because they're heavy laden. Wonderful. Jesus will take us all day, every day, and give us rest. He is an amazing, amazing Messiah. But that doesn't actually fix the issue. If the issue is my business isn't building, my business isn't going anywhere, and that's putting so much pressure on you that you keep going back to Jesus, wonderful. However, if you want to actually fix the problem, then you need to do the activity that is in line with you building the business so you don't have to keep going to him for the same thing. It's fine to keep going to him for the same thing. Like you can take 50 years to learn the lesson. It doesn't bother me. But it's better when you're going back to him for new things because you're growing and growing and growing, and the pressure is higher and the need is higher, and then you get a better outcome with the Lord because you're growing with him. It's better to keep going back to him when your burden is heavy, because the burden gets heavier because you're being promoted. So what we don't want to be doing is going to him all the time without taking the action. The action is simple. Like, go to Jesus, get that rest. His yoke is easy. It's a beautiful relationship. Then take that newfound energy and go back out and do the activity. Make the calls, see the people, collect the debtors, do the marketing, get the Facebook ad. Like, if you will do both, you will win. If you start to look at the activity as well as going to him for the rest, it's a beautiful outcome, because your business will grow and then you'll need to lean on him even more. Then your business will grow and you'll need to lean on him even more. That is better than keep going back for the same little issues without actually growing the business. So, of course, he's always there. His arms are beautiful. He is wonderful, and he'll always be there. But surely the best way to walk out this faith is to always be growing our businesses and leaning on him when the burdens get heavier, because our businesses get bigger. What have we got there, Craig? We've got a couple of cues. I can see some cues. I can see some cues. Esther, thanks for joining. Tim, thanks for joining. Do you know who we have? Tazina. Tazina, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hi, Wez. Thanks for calling.
That's all right. What can I help you with today?
My question was around Facebook. So when you're launching a second location or a franchise, is it best to launch a separate Facebook business page, or just to keep one kind of thing? Wondering what is the best option when you're doing that?
So will you be running the second location from the first location?
No.
So is it somebody else that runs the second location?
Yeah. So, sorry, the first location, someone else will be running the first location and I'll be running the second location.
Perfect. If you had said to me that you were running both, I would say hands down, it's one page, right? And then you can focus on one and you can talk about two locations. If it's somebody else that's doing the work for the other location, then I think you should train them on how to do Facebook well for themselves. So take a franchisee, for example. You know, I think the best thing you can do to get a franchisee to win in life is to train them on how to use social media. So you wouldn't want to control, let's say you had 50 franchisees, you wouldn't want to be running 50 Facebook pages. But if you were a corporate company that had 50 locations, not franchises, you probably would want to run everything from corporate. You might enlist the help of the people in the store to produce some local content for you. I guess what I'm saying is, where do you have control? If you have control over all of locations, do it as one page. If you don't have control because somebody else is in control, then equip them to do a good job on social media and run them as two separate pages.
Yep. So if I run...
For sure, and then you could give them all the collateral that worked for you so that they've basically given them a running start. But, like in my experience, a franchisee or somebody who runs a store or a second location, they're normally not very gifted with social media. Like they're usually very gifted at whatever that product or service does, but they're not very gifted at social media. So if you let them have reins to do social media and they're not very good at it, you're better off to not let them. If you want to let them have control and produce their own page and produce their own content, I just think we need to train those people on how to do it. I think it's crazy to think that if we leave them to their own devices, they'll do a good job.
Yeah, that's right. And so with marketing from Facebook, so you can still do, if you have the one page, still find all your marketing from that one combined page as such.
Yeah, so like take McDonald's, for example. McDonald's have a corporate Facebook page and they market Australia-wide and they drive people to your local store. If McDonald's, now they're a franchise, but they're a very strict one. You can imagine the potential collateral damage of letting every store owner of a McDonald's, free reign without training them on social media. You would wreck your brand in 6 months. So you just, maybe it comes down to the person too, but you just don't want to let anybody loose without training them on how to do social media well. In fact, thinking about it, you probably just need to come up with a social media policy, what you can and can't say, the brands you can use, check, kind of have everything checked by corporate and then let them go with it. Well, you're awesome, Tazina. Thanks for calling. Hey, listen, now, did you hear me read out the books that I had available before?
Yes, I did.
Did you have one in mind that you think would be the best, given that you are first cab off the ranks?
I think the Purple Cow, possibly.
Cool. Now, possibly or definitely?
Unless you think there's another option that I should be reading.
No, I want you to have your one. Purple Cow it is. Tazina, we're awesome. Listen, Craig will reach out to you. He'll get your address in private message and we will send this thing out to you tomorrow.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Wes.
Bless you heaps. Good on you. Right, Craig, there's one job for you. So now I can see quite a few queues, which is interesting because we also have other calls lined up. Is that correct?
We do. And do you want me to be taking these as random or in order of first served?
I don't know, but let's just go to somebody who would organise a call and let's deal with the rest later. And do you know who they are?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's good. Who we got?
Naomi.
Speaking.
Naomi, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hello, Wes. How are you?
I am salubrious. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you.
All right, what can I help you with?
Listen, I had a question about more for small businesses. If we're strapped for cash and new in the game, what would you best recommend that we spend that initial bit of cash on to grow our business?
Very, very good question. Give me some context just so that I can make sure I help you out. Where are you at in business, from startup right through? Like how long have you been going? What sort of traction do you have right now?
Okay, so currently in business for about 3 years and mostly just as a sole operator, but now looking to grow the business in terms of bringing more people on for staff, but also getting more promotion in the industry, so which is a travel business. So,
well, while I've got you, why don't you give yourself a shameless plug? Give us a URL. What could somebody look up?
Okay, so the business is Thomas Travel, and the URL is ttravel.com.au.
Love it. You know what I love most about having a online TV show is we don't have to jump through any rules about advertising limitations or anything. We can just do what we like. All right, so you're at the stage, like you've been a sole operator, you've been going like 3 years, so you're kind of like 3/4 of the way through startup phase, right? The apprenticeship phase, and you're about to put on staff.
Correct.
So where would you invest? I guess, what do you need most right now is the question that I'd be asking myself. Do you need customers or do you need capacity, meaning systems, staff, the back end of the business? So what do you need right now?
Okay.
Have you got more customers than you need, or or have you got more staff than you do customers?
Okay, so for me personally, as the business owner, I have more customers than I can deal with. So, but the more staff I take on, then I end up in a position where I need more customers for the new staff that have been brought on.
Yeah, perfect.
So
okay.
a bit of both, and also having done the systems myself for quite a few years, bringing new staff on, trying to train. There's a lot of industry training that does exist, but I also need to write training manuals for them coming into my business and how we're differentiated from other travel businesses in the industry.
Perfect. Okay, so that's going to take you some time to document those things, but it doesn't cost you any money, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's correct, yep.
So where do you invest the money? I mean, right now, based on what you've told me, you need to go really deep into staff. So, whereas you think you might want to hire one, I'd be saying invest in two. Where you might be hiring two, I'd be saying invest in three. Right? If you had some capital to deploy right now, based on what you've told me, I'd be going heavier into staff. Okay?
Right.
Because you've got more than you can handle, right? And then what's going to happen down the line, of course, is you're going to have more capacity than you do customers. But let's stage this out. Let's say you went really deep and invested your money right now into staff, like getting them, like running Seek ads, Indeed ads, getting on Gumtree, running LinkedIn, like doing everything you can to find the best candidates for the job. Mm-hmm. If you were to invest your money there, that's like you're going to have to pay those people. So you probably need to have, depending on your industry, 1 to 2 months worth of wages set aside for you to be able to launch well so that you can take the pressure off. But what's going to happen is the pressure of having those extra mouths to feed needs to push you to the front of the business to now go and do marketing really, really well. Mm-hmm. If you don't, this is the mistake most people make. Most people put on the staff and it doesn't force them to go and do a better job of marketing. Now all they've done is add an overhead. You're going to have to get these documents written up, the systems and processes, get these people in, and then immediately once they're bedded in, race back and start running more Facebook, more LinkedIn, more Google AdWords, more joint ventures, more strategic alliances, and build the front end, right? Once you get past that stage of putting on the staff and then increasing the marketing, that's when you have a business. Because you don't need to be there for all of it. All you need to do is become the puppet who says, what do I need more right now, right? I'm going to go and get more customers. I'm going to go and get more capacity or staff. I'm going to go and get more customers. And you just do that dance forever. So based on what you've told me, I'd be putting my money straight into staff because without them, you're not going to build a great business. To answer your question initially, like if I was to answer your question of a small business, where should I invest money? Broad brush, without knowing your details, my answer is on yourself. Mm-hmm. Yourself. Yep. Invest it between your ears, right? That's, programs, seminars, books, CDs, mentors, however, because that's where it starts, right? If you can't train yourself, you would know that, what is it? 85% of businesses that start don't make, year one. And that's not a cash flow issue. That's a knowledge issue. It's always a knowledge issue. If people had more knowledge, they would know how to raise the cash flow. They'd know how to make the sales. They'd know how to employ the staff. It's always a knowledge issue at the start. So a broad brush answer for everybody is knowledge. You need to invest in yourself because they can never take that away from you, right? You can invest in the stock market, lose your money, but you can invest in yourself and you never lose that. But in your particular case, drilling down a little bit, I'd be going to get staff and more staff than you think, probably. Maybe not on day one, but I would be pursuing more staff than you think. So if you want 1, get 2. If you want 2, get 3. If you're looking at 5 this year, get 7 this year. Because you've already proven that you can produce more than enough leads for one person because you've done it for yourself. So if you can do that for yourself, you can do that for the team.
Yeah.
And then I think you'll have a great business.
Beautiful.
Naomi, you're awesome. I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you, Wez.
Bless you. Bye. By the way, you guys are watching. Hit the share button. Share. So I don't know whether you know this, but we've got some seminars coming up in March 2019, and I want to invite you. Oh, look at this. All right, we have a change of backdrop. Got your tickets yet? All right, I don't know whether you're aware, but every March we come around the country and we do the Kingdom Business Summits. 2 days, high energy, high impact business training where we invest in you for 2 whole days, right? We're going to be talking marketing, we're going to be talking sales, we're going to be talking recruitment, we're going to be talking, we've got some experts coming in to talk about like deep Facebook ads, change management and leadership for a team, culture, a whole bunch of stuff, branding and so forth. We have worship together, we pray together, we'd have a church service together. This will be 1,000 people across the country, and anyway, it's in March, and so tickets are on sale now, and we do have an early bird, which would be crazy for you to miss. It's $79. Think about that, $79 for me and my team to invest in you for 2 full days, but you can get 2 tickets right now for $99. And just to give you an idea, we're approximately quarter of all the tickets sold in a little over a week. And so I want to encourage you, go to kingdombusiness.com.au, kingdombusiness.com.au, grab your tickets early because once they're sold, they are sold for each city. That's super, super cool. All right, do we have another organized call there, Craig? Do we know who this one is? Stephen.
Hi there, this is Stephen.
Stephen, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hi there, Wez. How are you?
I am salubrious. How are you?
I'm very good indeed.
Right, hit me. What can I help you with?
Right, my question is, I'm trying to find a social media influencer. I think that's the right word to use. For somebody that I can get to promote our business to, obviously, my target audience, which is foods and drinks producers. So, so I'm looking to get some ideas on how to find one and how to use a social media influencer in what we're doing.
Do you have a platform in mind that you would have this person help you on?
It would probably be more on the Facebook side, I would have thought, is where I will be looking at probably more. I'll be more inclined to use that media, I would have thought.
Okay, cool. So here's what my first thought of finding an influencer would be to flick over to Instagram, right? Go in the hashtag section and just start typing hashtags for your industry. And then obviously it'll bring up all the hashtags for your, for that, whoever's put that into a post, it'll have it there. And then you can quickly race through and see, is there one person who seems to be dominating, or 1 or 2 maybe, with that hashtag? Then look at their page and see what kind of following they've got. And it's not about finding the person with the biggest following. It's about who's got engagement, right? So if they might have less followers but great engagement, there's no point in going for someone with just a massive following if there's no engagement on their stuff. Obviously the ultimate is a big following and a big engagement. And then you just reach out to them and say, so that's Instagram, and then you go and see if you can find that person on Facebook and then see what kind of engagement they've got over there. They're going to be harder to find on Facebook. That's the beauty of the hashtag system. So you find them on Instagram, see if they've got a Facebook following, and then just reach out to them and say, hey, listen, I'd love to have you as an influencer. But they'll kind of show their hands. If there's an industry expert that would be good for you, then they're probably posting regularly on some really targeted hashtags.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. That's very useful indeed.
But
okay.
it's a little bit of manual work, but it'll help you kind of work it all out. You know, you'll be able to go through. You'll be able to go through that process and find out, is there even an influencer? And by the way, there's probably not a huge amount, but you know, it's probably worth you throwing a small amount of money at an influencer to find out if they can help you out. I mean, you know, we're probably only talking $100 to $200 here, unless there's, you know, some person that has a huge following. You know, you'd never be paying $5,000 for an influencer. You know, I think you'd be better off to go and find 10 smaller influencers than one big shot who thinks their list is amazing.
Okay. So go for the, okay. So you might get more interaction from them as well.
Now, Stephen, were you a Q? You were, weren't you?
I was a Q indeed. Yes, I was.
All right. I should ask where people live, and then decide whether we take. You've got to protect your margin, Stephen.
I know you do.
You've got to send a book all the way to West Australia. I should just pick people that I can, like Craig, can deliver them to tomorrow. All right. So basically, we've got start with why, how to win friends, and outliers. Which one would you like, my friend?
I think it was Outliers was the one I wanted. That was the one where you're talking about the modern day business and stuff like that, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, that's the one I want.
Mate, that will be in the mail tomorrow.
Okay, excellent. I will message Craig the address.
Bless you, mate. Go well.
All right. Thanks, Wez.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas. Cheers. Bye.
I like this. Michael Colley, thank you for watching. Jay, thank you for watching. Aaron, thank you for watching. Derek, thank you for watching. You guys are great. What do you got there? Carl. Okay. Carl. By the way, if you're enjoying this, hit the share button for me. All right, call me crazy, but I want more people to know. Carl, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, Carl?
Good, mate.
Awesome. All right, what can I help you with today?
Well, it's a two-pronged question. Is the first portion of it is when you've lost everything numerous times, like in Joel 1, how the locusts come in, how do you know when your testing is over and the restoration of all the loss will begin? And then the second portion of the question is, in the in-between time while it's getting restored, how do you not play financial catch-up like every month as a result?
All right. This is deep and theological, and it's going to be fun. All right. So part number one to your question, right? When you've lost everything. Now, you know, Carl, you know I love you enough that I want to have a frank conversation with you. You haven't lost everything. You've still got your mind. You've still got your smarts. You've still got your work ethic. You've still got your focus. You've got your knowledge of Jesus. You've got Jesus. I mean, I just want to challenge the language first and foremost and go, hang on a minute.
Sure.
You haven't lost everything. You've maybe lost some money. Well, that's the easiest bit to get back, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the second thing you said was, how do we know when the testing is finished? What if I said to you that it never finishes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't reckon it ever finishes. I mean, I'm still being tested all of the time. It's one of the Lord's way to find out what we can handle. You know, because there is a promotion that takes place in the kingdom, and we read from Scripture that the people that did it, you know, His will, His way, got promoted further than those that didn't. So He's always going to want to kind of, you know, check us to find out if we've passed enough tests. Not because He's a performance-based, well, He is a performance-based dad. Our salvation is not performance-based. Well, it is His performance, not ours, which is beautiful. But in terms of your promotion, like, there will be challenges and tests because He's too much of a good dad to take us somewhere that's detrimental to us. Right? So he's going to want to just check us along the way. So I guess, you know, my thoughts are it's never going to stop. So we just need to kind of be okay with the fact that the testing never stops, right? The other part to your question is, how do you make sure that you're not playing catch up? Listen, if you come off a really bad baseline, like if you did lose everything financial, then sure, it just takes a long time, right? And longer than we probably think to come back from that. You know, you might be you're carrying debtors, or you know. You're right. You go.
Yeah, I just noticed that. All my friends haven't gone through literally like a tenth of what I've gone through, and yet they're all like, and they usually say to me, "Oh, it must be some curse on your life or something like that." There, and I'm like, "Well, I've prayed off all the curses and that sort of stuff there, but yet it just seems to be like 30 years longer than what everyone else has gone through." Well, that's what it seems.
Yeah. So I mean,
like, well, when is it going to happen?
If you've prayed off the curses, and you don't need to worry about curses ever again, prayer either works or it doesn't. He's either God or he isn't, right? So we don't need to be we don't need to be hiding and digging around in our past. I mean, that's if Jesus forgave our past, we don't need to go back too much and worry about it. So listen, I guess is there a practical element to this? You know, like it's great to focus on the spiritual, and there's quite often some clues there, but you know. I'd be looking at your 9, 10, 11-hour day and wondering, are you on your phone to leads every 5 minutes? Are you, calling up debtors? Are you chasing down quotes? Are you going to do free work to get momentum so you can get testimonials to get future work? Are you doing the physical work and smashing out the day and making minutes matter? Because usually, once the spiritual stuff's been addressed, it's normally a strategy issue. I'm not suggesting you're not working hard, but I'm wondering if it's put to the right things. Are you doing the activity on a minute-by-minute basis during the day to drive your business forward? And my guess would be, we can all improve in that area. My guess would be, you've been through the spiritual journey. Now you've just got to go really deep into your business, start marketing to 5 times as many people or 10 times as many people. Tell your story to a much bigger audience, start producing content like I am, start pushing it out to the world, start chasing down opportunities on the phone. That's the stuff that's likely to make the difference. Once you've addressed the spiritual, you told me that. Now it's just a strategy thing. Come up with a strategy where you get to explode your business, right? Let me put it to you this way. How many clients, how many customers have you worked with in 2018? It doesn't need to be exact, just a ballpark would be good.
Probably about 10.
Okay, 10. 10 to 15. We'll call it 12, because that's somewhere between 10 and 15. Mm-hmm. Here's my thinking. Yeah. If I said to you, Carl, you've got to do 120 in 2019, you'd be like, wow, that's heaps. That's a massive jump. Great. What kind of work, what kind of strategy, what kind of tactics would you need to go from 12 to 120? That's the kind of thinking you need that's going to... Now, you may not get to 120. You might go from 12 to 23. Well, that's great. You're making more money, right? Mm-hmm. But forcing you to think a lot bigger means you kind of can't go back from there. So what would be your strategy to go to 120? I would document that, and I would start chasing that down. Now, if you don't get there and you get if you get better than you had this year, then you're winning. But I think you've probably got to look at the strategy and the tactics of what you're investing in every single day. And they need to line up with where you want to be. I can tell you're a very spiritual person, so you've ticked that box. You don't need to worry about that side of your life anymore. You need to stay committed to God. You need to stay intimate with Him every day, but you don't need to worry about that side of your life anymore. It's behind you. It's past, right? You just need to go. You just need to go fight for profit every single day for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're awesome, Carl. I appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability. We need more people in the world like you.
Thanks, mate.
Bless you heaps. All right, let's line up one more cue. We've run well over time. That's how we roll. I could teach, or I could also plug. Did you know that in March, we'll be running an event called the Kingdom Business Summit in a city near you? And it's incredibly affordable. $79. Let me invest in me and my team and you for 2 whole days. You will be massively blessed. I absolutely guarantee it. So, but I want you to come to that. Listen, this like seats are limited thing, like it is real. Like the venues are booked. They all have a capacity. In fact, the capacity chart is in my book here. How many for the Gold Coast? How many for Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide? once we hit those numbers, it's done, right? So I just don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to be like, oh, I think I'll do this in January. Oh, there's no more seats in my town. So just jump in early. Do us both a favor. kingdombusiness.com.au. All right. Is that as much time as you needed? All right. Do we have a name? Rowan.
Hi, this is Rowan.
Rowan, it's Wez Hone. You're on Kingdom Business TV.
How are you, Wes?
Salubrious. How are you?
I'm well. Salubrious in every call. I'm well, thank you.
That's my word for the day. All right, Rowan, what can I help you with?
Wes, I was going to ask you about email marketing / content versus Facebook Live and content. I've subscribed to a couple of sort of email type coaching sort of, words for the day and that sort of thing, and seem to get inundated with emails on a fairly regular basis. And it gets to the stage where I almost want to unsubscribe. If it was a little less frequent, I'd probably be more likely to be sort of plugging into that extra information.
Yeah. I'm 50-50 on which way to go with this. I personally don't do a lot of emailing out because of that reason, right? I want to be sensitive to people's inboxes. And then I switch because I'm like, well, if I've got something that I really want to say right now, I'm going to go really hard at my list because I think it's valuable. And then I don't care about unsubscribes because at the end of the day, I want customers, not critics, right? So if people unsubscribe, that tells me that they're probably never going to buy. Now, the school of thinking is, well, hang on a minute, what if they do? What if you just offended somebody who may buy in the future? In my experience, the person that unsubscribes is never buying. And maybe you did lose one sale in 24 months from somebody who unsubscribed but was going to buy. But the trade-off is, because you hit so many more people with your message, you might have sold 10 things instead and maybe lost one. And that's a better outcome. Okay. So like we've got Kingdom Business Summit, right? And we've hit our list twice in 8 days so far, which is not like us. The last email I sent was like April. Okay, so massive time between events, which is probably not a good idea either. But I'm going to hit that list 2 more times before Christmas. Why? Because if people unsubscribe...
But you're not going to do it 2 or 3 times a day, are you?
Not going to do it 2 or 3 times a day. And yes. Okay, so if that's the level of intensity we're thinking, that you can do 2 or 3 times a day for a small period of time and probably keep your list, right? If you've got a good enough reason to talk to them. Let's say you've got an e-commerce site or something and you're doing a Black Friday sale, then you could probably hit them 5 times in a 24-hour window. Right? Just because you've got, hey, here's another product on sale. Hey, this is gonna sell out. Hey, this closes soon. You could probably do that. But if you did 5 a day every day or 2 a day every day for a year, man, you better have some value. Otherwise, everyone's gonna leave. So, I think the short answer for me is I tend to go hard when I've got something really, really valuable and not go hard when I don't. For me, it's not about, I'm looking at what's valuable to the consumer on my email list. If I've got something that I really want to share, then I'll go really hard against it. If I don't, then I won't send out stuff for the sake of it. I'd rather protect their inbox.
Great.
Now, Rowan, you were a Q caller, which means that I'm going to send you a book. So, would you prefer How to Win Friends and Influence People or Start With Why?
Start with why.
Thought you might say that. Probably because everyone in the world's got the other book.
Exactly.
All right, well, I'm going to get that out to you tomorrow, straight in the mail. Hopefully it's to you before Christmas, and then you can read it and give me a 100-word synopsis on about January the 3rd. How about that?
Thanks, Wes.
Are you laughing at the thought of reading a book, or are you laughing at what I said? Or you're just laughing at the fact that you would finish it? Okay, I get it. Not many people finish books.
There's a few of those. Writing 100-word synopsis for you.
Rowan, you're awesome. Have a super Christmas, mate. Bless you heaps.
Thanks, brother. You too.
So, guys, It's been a delight hanging out with you for the last 40 odd minutes. If you've really enjoyed this show, do me a favor. Why don't you, right now, before you jump off this, why don't you tag a friend in the comments who is a Christian in business? Tag someone in the comments, they'll get the alert about the show, and hopefully they will follow on at some point in the future. I'm going to get those books out. Hey, listen, I can already make a commitment. I'm feeling festive for Thursday's show. I might do some giveaways, and I might even lift my game. I might even lift my game for Thursday and do some even bigger giveaways. So 3 p.m. Queensland time, 4 p.m. smart time around Australia, and we'll get back together and we'll do it again. More questions, more Jesus, more influence. Love you guys. See ya.